just like life is different if you just don't get swept. The standings are different. The record is different. If you just can find a way,
the vibe
either on Friday or Saturday, just don't get swept. Find a way to get a win.
The vibe is very different. That's for sure. And we'll get back to the big picture of where they're at and kind of what this means for the team in general. But let me start with Bryce today, Brock, because this is sort of the story, and you were on this right from the very beginning with Bryce, and some of the concern you had right off the bat, I was not, and obviously now I've kind of come to join you. It's not just what we've seen, not just the 92 miles an hour he had on that pitch to Springer that was destroyed and crushed out of the ballpark, obviously. It's not just the inability to put guys away. He's getting the 2 strikes and then just doesn't seem to have a good way to get them out right now, despite all 7 of his pitches. So all of the kind of eye test and numbers are concerning, but I think I might be more concerned by what he's saying.
I don't know. It's been frustrating. First 8 starts, I've had majority of the games where I haven't felt good, and I've had stuff, kind of nagging and lingering, and I think going into this week, it was more of a mentality change. Like, I felt decent, body-wise, but the mentality change was the main thing I was focusing on, and I think that in itself, it helped. This game's really, really mental, and especially, whenever you're struggling, it's hard to stay off of your heels, and I think the past few weeks I've been pitching on my heels. And
all right, what are you hearing?
I'm hearing you after the 9th hole at the home course, and instead of just being able to shut it down and go home, he's trying to find an answer. He's trying to push through and figure out what in the heck can I lean on, because it's a struggle. I mean, and I appreciate him. He is a little bit like you. I think he's more of a talker and a verbal processor. Yes, he is. Yeah, but you just hear a young guy. What do I hear? I hear a young guy that just is mentally and physically struggling. Where it came pretty darn easy the first couple of years, and especially the second half of last season. He looked like he had this league whipped. And we say that football will humble you, baseball will humble you just as quickly.
For sure.
Even harder and even more, because you got to sit on it, every 5th day, and this team is really relying upon you with obviously Logan and George out.
So let me throw out another possibility that's similar to what you said, but maybe just a little bit different. What I hear in that cut specifically is a guy who's having physical problems that he's trying to solve mentally. And I just don't know if that's a real thing. I appreciate it about him, but I hear a guy who's got a physical concern. I don't know exactly what it is. I don't even know if he knows what it is. If he does, he's certainly not willing to share it with us.
Well, we know it's his back.
It's a little back. Maybe it's a little shoulder, a little soft. I don't know exactly what it is. But yeah, it probably starts with his back. But I hear a guy who's trying to get through that just with mental conditioning.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it might be too serious for that. It might not be something you can just grit your way through. He gives a little bit more detail on how he felt during the game.
Like today, it felt good going into the game, obviously, and just kind of 3rd or 4th inning, kind of had some stuff that didn't feel good and didn't feel normal like I have in the past, and I don't know. I don't want to say too much on it, but just haven't been able to. In the past, it felt like get through 6 innings. It's a breeze. I feel as good as I do in the 6th as I did in the 1st, and it's been a struggle to have that feeling so far. So
clearly, he's just not right physically. The problem I think you run into is, okay, it would be nice to put him on the IL for 10 days or 15 days rather, and let him kind of collect himself and get that back in order and let it rest a little bit. Can they not afford to do that right now?
Who you calling up?
I think
Jonathan Diaz.
That's sort of what you're left with. I mean, it would be nice if Kirby was back and ready to go, but he didn't have a great rehab outing over the weekend, and he's going to need at least one more start anyway, so you're looking at another 10 days minimum before you see George Kirby. Maybe it's 15, maybe more than that. We'll see. Logan Gilbert still hasn't thrown off a mound. right? I mean, like, you don't have a natural successor right now, or even just another guy that you could bring up to make a spot start.
Well, I would think, Salk, as careful as they have been, if this is something that they believe, right? If they believe within their pitching staff and coordination, if they believe within their strength staff and coordination, just the way that they've kind of treated this, if they really believe that he was putting himself at risk of more danger going out, I can't imagine they're going to keep running him out, right? Or, this must be that old hurt versus injured. Right? Yeah, you're hurt. Your back is hurt. You got, muscle spasms. You got this or that, or but there's nothing there that is injured, to the point that you're going to come off this man. And I think he's got a little bulldog to him too.
He got a lot of it. I'm sure he wants to pitch through everything, and it may be a hurt versus injured thing. But at some point, it becomes just an effectiveness thing. I don't know that they're worried about him getting more hurt. I mean, that was clearly the case with Logan, right? You don't want a guy who's got an issue with his forearm to go out there and keep throwing, because now you got a Tommy John risk.
Yeah, but 35 strikes to 21 walks, 40 hits to 39 innings pitched. That's not Bryce Miller.
No, and a 92-mile-an-hour fastball that is getting destroyed by George Springer for essentially the game. Yeah, that's not like tenable long term. So I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I either want him to, go on the IL or be quiet about it. I appreciate that he's a verbal processor.
So he's just working it through with you.
I appreciate
you and him are just verbal processing it out.
Absolutely. I am a big fan of the verbal processor, and certainly it's the opposite of Dan Wilson, who don't want to say anything about anything ever. I mean, I can play you what he had to say about Bryce.
About Bryce? Yeah, about Bryce.
I mean, I'll play
Danny,
it for
what's
you.
going on? Danny, what's going on with Bryce?
I'm not sure I even need to.
I thought Bryce was much more aggressive in the zone. I thought he attacked pretty well, and the secondaries were much better in the zone as well. Just got touched up by Springer there, to kind of put him ahead a little bit.
I mean, he gave up 7 runs, and he's got an ERA over 5. So, I don't know, man. I don't know they're Dan's giving us the full picture.
Salk was more aggressive in the zone.
Yeah, but with 92 miles an hour, unfortunately, and Springer deposited it into the seats. So I don't know what the right answer is. Unfortunately, Brock, he's not the only one, because we're seeing a velocity drop also on Luis Castillo, and he's not pitching the way you'd kind of need him to, and you add it all up, you get swept this weekend by a Blue Jays team that came in not playing particularly good ball, and that's not what anybody wanted to see. We'll give you some more details on it and what it means next.